Well, I just want to share the crazy amount of metal that's been cut off of this truck already. Hey everybody, welcome back to Ogre Speed Shop. We're gonna get part two, or say phase two of getting this truck ready for the truck gathering in April. So we're gonna do some body work and repair some rusty out panels on the cab of the GMC. So let's get into it. I stopped in an LC pickup part today to get those right there, the rear shock mounts for this. And I decided to go ahead and grab the mirrors off of the truck that the 14 bolt came out of. They're a little big, but I think I can modify them to make them work. I think they'll work great for, you know, looking around this this headache bar thing. Even though I think I might be modifying this, I might be reducing the size of this. I don't know yet, but yeah, definitely got to modify them. But the cool thing is they had another truck that came in recently. It was a 77 square body dually 1 ton. It had these mirrors on it. Now, these brackets, I can modify those as well to make them work, but the cool thing is I have the original mirrors off the 1 ton, and all I had to do was loosen up those 4 screws and stick that in there, and the bracket for the 67 to 72 fits the mirror. So I think I want to put these on the 70 GMC out front. You know, my original build, just because I need bigger mirrors on it. And I think I want the big mirrors to go on the 1 ton because, well, it's a 1 ton. So, but yeah, that's my treasures for today from Elk City Pick Apart. Mirrors, yay. I've been messing around with the mirrors on this thing. I think I found the solution. So this lower bar is off of a 79, is it 79? 77. K3500, and that mirror is off of a 79 3500, C3500, or C30, whatever it might be in those years. So I'm combining this and that to make this, and all I need to do is find a way of attaching this bar up here, which I think I have. I can just use this original bar here, because it kind of fits up in there. And then I can cut it off and then attach new bars over. So I think that'll take care of the mirrors. I have enough pieces to do all of it, so got multiple mirrors around here. This one here, that's actually from a C6500. But this one here is the other one that we can make work for the passenger side. So I think I got it figured out. Duct tape and all, but hey, I think it's exactly, so this is like what the original mirror was. How did I get messed up? Oh yeah, so that, you can see how that brings it out almost exactly as far as the original one, but much bigger for the 3/4 ton, or the 1 ton. I'm not sure what the heck I'm trying to say here. I'm looking goofy though. But these were the original mirrors that came off of this truck. At least this stand here. So we should be good to go with what I've come up with here. I just need to figure out a way of attaching this up here. But everything else is going to be fine. I think I might want to put another support right in this area too, down to here. Kind of like the way that is. But with this bar here, something like this, to attach it in that area. So that'd be easy to make. It's just a straight bar and just bend it to fit, to match. So yeah, I think we got that licked. That was one of my biggest things. I wanted like nice big, you know, trailer mirrors for it. This is what I've got so far. I cut the original bar down. Then I flatten it, which I'm about to do here, and I'll show you that process. And cut it to length, and now I'm gonna weld it, and that'll complete the upper bar. And then it just bolted to the top of the door like like a stock one would be. And I'll have to weld, drill holes and do not self tappers, but I'm gonna do riv nuts. And I'm still thinking about doing another bar here just for extra support. So, but yeah, we're looking pretty good right there. I mean, it's going to be perfect. This thing's bent already, so it's going to look like it's supposed to on this truck. All right, so I did notice when I did the first one, when it's on a flat surface here, it kicks it up, but it ended up kicking it up perfectly to make that angle I needed. But I need this one to be straight, so I elevated it and I lined it up with the end of the anvil here, this thing. So we're just going to do it that way and crush it straight down, and hopefully it makes it flat and straight. Look at that. So as long as you have it level with the piece, with the jack, it'll make it straight. You just crush it down until it's crushed. Look at that. Perfect flat area to weld to. I'll clean that up and we'll fit it. So I made it big, so it might be a little bit too long, but we can cut it off. All right, so just like that, we have new mirror mounts. Well, once I welded, of course. But there you have it. And this is all still adjustable, just like it was originally. So like I said, I got to bolt this in eventually. I do want to put an extra bracket right here just for some more stability. So it's not just these two holes it's relying on. But yeah, we're looking pretty good. Let's get this thing tacked in. I give it kind of just a little twist in this end here. Hopefully it works. There you go, like that. Picked up a little bit. There we go, that's better. All right, there's that one. Just bending this area right here down a little bit so it lines up. I'll weld the inside first. Just tack it in there. That way, when I pull it off, I can weld the outside and it'll fill that whole gap in there and just make it look smooth. Well, you know, smooth as I can anyway. There we go. Man, it's pretty sturdy just as it is. That's duct tape down here. Look how solid it is now, just being tacked together. Cool. All right, so I think I'm gonna leave this here because I don't want to take that off yet. I still need to make this piece down here. So actually I'll leave it the way it is, and I'll make this piece right now. Yep, that's what we're gonna do. All right, there you have it. Just a little extra support there. It's kind of just like what it had on there before. This was for a square body originally, so I just made it work for an action line for a 6772. So I just used one of the other tubes that I cut off already and smashed the ends down just like we did up here for these. And voila, we have a piece. You need to bend it a little bit more. You see the little gap in there? I mean, it's a hair, but whatever. So, but I just wanted to make sure it's as close to the body line as possible. Originally, the first one I made, I did make 2 of them. It was a little too short, and it would have brought it above the body line. So, yeah, so it would have been above that. The top of it would have been above the body line. So now it's below or right angle or right. It's right even with it. I don't know why I can't talk today, but that'll do. So now I just got to bolt and bolt and bolt. So rib nuts and bolts, and then finish welding the top. So these are the parts I'm going to be using to make the passenger side one. So like I said, I made these pieces here. So that's what I'm going to use those for right there, those 3 pieces. And that original bar right there from a different mirror, from the, I can't remember which one it was, the 79 I think. And then for this little bar right here, I made that out of the piece I cut off of here that I don't use because I cut like 18 inches of that off. But then I found this piece, and look at that, I could easily make that piece. But I'll probably make another one so it matches. But yeah, that's all I do. Pretty simple. And that's mirror number 2. Still gotta finish welding it. I gotta take it off and weld it. I just bolted it in. I'm using rib nuts, and I'm gonna put a backing plate behind each one of them to strengthen it. So I'm just got it temporarily bolted in on that side just to hold it in place. And got holes drilled, getting ready for nut certs over here. So, but yeah, we now have mirrors for the 1 ton that actually have glass in them that weren't shot out. So, looking pretty good. Kind of hard to see with the white background and the white mirrors, but I'm liking it. Are they perfect? Absolutely not. But neither am I. Right, so I made these plates here that I'm going to use to put behind for support on these. And I'm going to not temporarily, but permanently mount them through there with rib nuts. That way we can screw it in from the inside. I don't have to worry about going from behind and holding a nut and whatnot. It's a pain in the butt. So this way we can just unscrew from the outside and be done. And it should hold up pretty good, especially having a backing plate. So that's why I made these little plates. So we're using rib nuts or nut certs, whichever you want to call them. And then this one, Steel Click Thread Cert Kit. I got this from a place called Baba Bolt out in San Diego when I worked out there. But that's what we're going to do to mount these mirrors. Well, it's starting out kind of bad already on this thing. I got 2 of the nut certs in. That one went right in, perfect, nice. Then I went to drill that one and it popped through and oversized it. So now I got to do something, probably weld that hole up and redo it. This one, for whatever reason, when I went to clamp it in, it just stripped out and crushed and did something bad. So I don't know, but so I got 2 out of the 3 on this side, and I got to fix that hole now on this one. And I've only got 4 more left, so I got just enough to do it before I have to get new ones. And some of these look like they've already been mushroomed a little bit, so they're not going in the hole. And yeah, fun times, but hey, it's part of it goes with the territory, I guess. All right, so I went ahead and fixed that hole. And what I did is I took a washer, put on a bolt like that. I drilled it out first to the sides of the washer, stuck it in there. That way I don't lose my center point for my mounting areas for the mirror. So now I just got to drill that out. I got a better drill bit now. They ain't gonna oversize it this time. And the rest of them, that mess will be, well, covered by a mirror for one. And you can kind of see the outline of the weld, but when I do the body work, that'll get filled with body filler. But, so now I can drill that out and re-nut cert it, so there you go. Now you can really see the weld. I could probably grind it down a little bit more. It's still a little high, so I could probably blend it a little bit more. I might still, but at least we now have a center point of where it was at before. So that hole didn't move, it just got bigger and now it got smaller. All right, so the mirrors are officially mounted with riv nuts. So very easy to take off now. And my wife came out and helped me put these ones in because I can't reach it by myself. So she got to use the riv nut tool. And now we got mirrors for the 1 ton. Now it's got to repeat the process a little differently on the other 70 GMC to put the other mirrors on it that we have over there. Those ones. So I decided to start working on the rocker panels. I don't know. I think it could be salvaged, right? That ain't nothing. Luckily I got new ones. But see, I got a new piece that goes on here too. See that chunk right there? Which is why I started doing this, because I wanted to see what all I'm gonna need. Because something don't seem right up here to me. Like there's supposed to be another piece behind it. So that's what I'm trying to figure out right now. So I want to get this piece, you know, in there so I can see what's going on. I definitely need the inner rocker piece. I want to get that whole floor piece. I think that covers all that, but I just don't know if it goes down into that area or not, because I noticed on both the other trucks, there's another layer of metal back there. So, but they both have fenders on it, so it's really hard to look at it. But yeah, well, that's one rocker off. Look at all the dirt that came out of it. That's like 2 inches deep. And there's still more that I haven't swept up yet. But that all came out of that. That's what these usually look like. So far, this is the second one I've done. And the third one in the back there, the original C30 body. Yeah, they all need this replacement. So hopefully I'll be good at it by the time I get done with this again. All right, so I'm going to review this little Tabco piece that I got. So overall, it ain't too bad. Like this piece, this part right here seems really nice. That's real solid. It's a solid piece. But they could have taken a little bit more time because this is supposed to be, you know, cut. You see the seam up here. So why have all this extra metal there? And over here, they could have continued this down because this is part of that. So continue that down to go with the rest of that. But other than that, that's the only thing I see. Everything else lines up pretty nice. So just gotta trim a little bit here and add a little bit here. But overall, it's not too bad. So, yeah, it's a decent decent piece. It just could have been better. I don't know why they cut this off here. You can see where it was cut. So leave that on for that area right there. And maybe trim this off instead. Just some ideas, but you know, this ain't a big deal, but adding some is. That definitely looks a lot better. Not even close to being put back in yet. I gotta do some hammer and dolly. This corner likes to stick out, so you have to, I'll talk about it later, but you have to hammer and dolly the inside of that new panel to flatten it out so it can go up against it where it needs to go. Yeah, the front always fits real nice. But one thing I'm definitely not gonna do this time like I did last time, I'm not gonna weld it in until I had the door on there to know exactly where it's supposed to be, because I ended up having to trim it and cut it and shape it to make it fit on that when I did the rockers on that, because I didn't have the door on. I didn't put the door on to check it or nothing. I'm just like, oh, well, it lines up here and it lines up there, so it should be good. But no, it wasn't. So I had to go back in and fix it. But not this time. I'm gonna make sure it's done right this time. A little more experienced. Not much, but a little bit. Well, I kind of opened up a whole case of worms on this one by the looks of it. I mean, I knew there was rust and I knew it was gonna happen, but basically what I discovered was this piece right here. Well, that's the bottom of the kick panel here. So normally I just go and patch this piece, but since it's all the way down here and I'm replacing this whole piece, the rocker, the floor, and whatever, I decided to just order that whole kick panel. That way it gets the piece that comes down here and covers that area. So this piece will be covered. So I'll have a new outer piece. So I'll have this new piece that I got from that Tabco. The rest I ordered from Summit Racing because it gets here quicker. Then this piece, which goes on there. So that'll go on there as well. Up underneath, that's the brace. Then I'll have the rocker, the floor piece. I bought the whole floor, the whole piece that goes the whole way, the length of the truck. And man, I'm not showing anything, am I? So anyways, what I got the piece that goes from all the way from the back to this area right here. That replaces that whole section right there of the inner rocker and floor. And then I ordered a floor pan, that kick panel. Already got the rocker and the those pieces right there. I got the rear one too for that brace. So that's where we're at with that. So hopefully it'll be here tomorrow, but Wednesday at the latest, because it's coming from Summit, which is usually next day or 2 days. So should be I hope I'm getting it tomorrow, but it'll probably be Wednesday. Today's Monday. So, but that's a lot of rust we got to repair, but it needs to be done. It's a little too much to leave alone, but that'll be done. That's, once we get the parts in. We got to do the other side too, but I have to wait till next month for fund for build. So this side's not as bad, as you can see. Some of the kick panels missing there too, but that floor isn't nearly as bad as that side. But we're gonna replace it all anyways, just so it's all new metal. The only place that's really good is the center section. That's usually the part that does stay good. There's one section right here that's kind of messed up, but I can fix that. That ain't a big deal. So yeah, that's what we're doing. Rust repair. I just had to feel a little bit better about where I'm at with this thing, where the future holds. I got that brace out. So now when it's time, and I clean up some of this mess because I had to bend it down and make it work. Then that will be ready to go in. Of course, with the new floor here, there, bracing, all that good stuff. But gotta get the old stuff out before you can put the new stuff in, right? But I did cut that piece up there, which I didn't want to do, but I'll weld it up before I put everything back together. And I totally forgot about some of my tools that I have that really work, and that's one of them. But this one, the air chisel, oh my God, that's a game changer. I keep forgetting I have that stupid thing. Oh, that's what I got out so far. It's your rocker, inner rocker, brace, the little corner piece from the A-pillar. So yeah, all that and so much more to go. Gotta get this stuff back here, but that floor piece I bought, I think covers that entire area back there, including down in. So I probably will do a cab corner on that one now that I'm looking at and seeing all the light down through there. But I think the other side doesn't need it. I could be wrong. I don't know yet. Yeah, maybe. Might do cab corners too. Kind of see some light down there. But I don't know, we'll see. That may be patchable. So, but yeah, we definitely got our work cut out for us here. But I knew what I was getting into. For what I paid for the cab, it's well worth putting some money into it to save another classic. So that's what we're doing. So I'm checking out this brace from Tabco that I bought. And I just kind of comparing it to what was originally in there. And it worked pretty good because you can kind of stick it inside there. But you can see the difference in the way it was made. Like for one, they could have added this here maybe, because that's actually a piece that runs down here. And it's kind of necessary to have for the shape of the panels. The other thing is you can see there's a lot of excess metal here. You can see the original line is this one right there. That's not rusted out. That's where it was originally at. What was rusted out was this piece that goes out around here. So there's a lot of this I got to trim off. This up here needs to be trimmed straight down, like about 1/2 inch out. But the rest of it looks pretty good. So now here's the thing about stampings. You can be American made. They can be made in Taiwan, whatever. All these stamps were made out of, the new parts are being made out of stamps or molds that were original molds, even if they were the original molds from like Van Nuys or Pontiac, Michigan, or wherever the heck these things are made. they're worn out. So just because they're original molds doesn't mean it's going to be perfect. And that's what our job is, well, fabricators, metal workers, body people, car builders, is we need to be able to take that stuff and make it work, which is what I'm going to do. Because like this dent right here, or that crease, that needs to be flattened out. So I'll be hammering, dollying that down so it's flat, because this whole area right here needs to be flat. So it's just stuff you got to do to modify stuff. And nothing against the manufacturers or the distributors of these parts, you know, because at least they're available and we can make them work. So it might take some, my mom loves to hear me say it takes some massaging to make it work, but we can make it work. So they're not going to be perfect, but this is a solid piece. I mean, I'll give it that much. It's definitely solid. Just got to trim it up a little bit and add a little bit to it. I got to add a little piece of metal right here to bring that angle down right there for the seam. But other than that, you just got to remember, these are not, you're never going to find parts that are perfect, because the molds that these are made out of are not perfect. They are worn out. They're 50, 60-year-old molds that people are reusing to make these parts. So I don't think anybody's got brand new molds out there. So just if there is, hey, let me know. I'd love to meet the people that have the new ones or have made new ones, because I can't see the cost effectiveness in it, but you never know. Maybe there is. But that's what my understanding is. All the molds are old ones that are being reused. So I don't know. Hit me up in the comments if I'm wrong. But like I said, just got to do some trimming on this and we'll be good to go on that. Another thing I want to show you in comparison from original to restamps. So you look at if you look at the chamfer or the corners of these, the originals were much sharper. So that's where another place where it gets worn out quite a bit, because those corners won't be as sharp. So it's another thing that might, hinder your fitment too. So you can take a chisel, maybe make the corners sharper. I'm just gonna run with it the way it is. I think it'll be fine, because the pieces do fit, because the rocker goes over the top of this piece right here. And it's really the only place that gets touched. The rest of it's external. So, it's like this piece right here. So it's gonna be external for the most part, except for what's underneath the rocker. If the rocker fits over it, then we should be good. Just real quick, what I'm gonna do with this, once I get it trimmed down to where it's supposed to be, you see the mark right there. You trim there, and you trim there. I think this is supposed to be flat down there. I'll check it, well, maybe not. I think it's flat. This is the original, and that was flat originally. And that's not completely rusted out. That's the way it was. So you can see the edges aren't broken off of it. It's just rusty. So probably flatten that edge out so it's flat, because it needs to be flat here. But I'm also going to cut that out so I don't interfere with the bolts or the attachments for the hinges. So you see where that's at right there, where I'm going to cut down and around it. Cut all this out and go around, and then replace that. That way this stays in place. It doesn't mess with the hinge location. So one of the other things I did too, see that little lip right there? Well, that goes right here. So I went ahead and bent that over. That was flat originally, so I bent it over using one of the dollies, using that, the edge of that, and a hammer, just to get a little edge there. I might need still do some work on it later, but you can see I flattened that out as well. So that looks a lot better. That doesn't have that big crevice in it, or crease in it, I should say. So I got this piece cut out now. Now you'll see how it fit up in there and leave the original mount for the hinges there. So good to go on that. We just gotta get the rest of this trimmed out of the car or the truck. So we're gonna cut all this out here, down around here, and back, and get that off of there so we can put this piece on. All right, so that's per my norm. I kind of screwed up, but that's the nice thing about metal, is it's easy to fix. So this front side from here all the way around is real good, but for whatever reason, I don't know what happened, but I cut way too much off of that side. You can see how it's not quite lined up, but right about there is where it needs to be. And that lines up, everything lines up. It's just I cut too much out. Either that, or maybe this needs to be bent back in a little bit, but even then, little more than a 1/4 inch, so I'll have to fill that, which ain't a big deal. I actually have the pieces I cut off of that I can use as a filler. So it's just one of those things that happens. I just gotta make sure everything's lined up the way it's supposed to be, and I think it is for the most part, like that. So I drilled the holes in this because those weren't in there. I flattened this out because it wasn't quite as it wasn't as formed as it is originally. Same with these areas, I flattened those out. So the piece overall is decent, but it needed some work to be right. So I started doing some work back here, but man, it is messed up back there. So I'm gonna wait till the floor piece comes in, so I know where to cut, and it'll make it easier to remove the old brace back there and to replace that one. So lots of cleanup to do. You know, all this floor here is going to be replaced, which is nice. But I gotta figure out what I'm going to do to repair that. You can get that whole piece back there, but it's also rusted underneath a little bit on the support. But it's one little spot, and I didn't want to spend $200 for that whole piece that goes across there when these were like 15, something like that, 15, 20, maybe 30 at the most. So I'll do a breakdown of everything, of the cost of everything I got to replace the metal on here when I'm done. But I just wanted to share that no matter how much you measure and cut and figure and whatnot, you end up cutting more than you expect. But as you can see, it's lining up pretty good where it's at. So we'll make it work. Just so you know, when you want to get into this metal fab work, getting that piece worked out took me most of the day. I mean, I got the brace cut out, that was part of it, but just getting this to fit right and, you know, kind of go in, even though I screwed it up, probably took 6-7 hours. So yeah, most of my day's been spent out here just working on this one corner. Did a little bit of extra things here and there, but yeah, metal work is not something you can rush, let's put it that way. Just wanted to share that. Look, we just arrived. It's 3 o'clock in the afternoon, the day after I ordered these. I ordered these at 8:46 in the morning, 8:46 a.m. yesterday. Showed up today at 3 o'clock. So let's get them unboxed and see what we got. I already started this one. That's the pan. So that's going to be the kick panel, and that'll be the floor piece. So let's get them open. There you have the pieces. Unfortunately, I ordered the wrong one on this. This is the left-hand side. I'm trying to get the left or the right-hand side done. There's the pan for the right side, and there's the kick panel piece for the right side. So a lot of this I'll be cutting out because I'll be using that portion of it. It'll be this side. But yeah, I just want to get that whole piece this time. Do it a little different than I did last time. But last time it wasn't quite this bad. I didn't have that hole back there, and it wasn't quite as bad up here. But yeah, we're going to replace it all. So yeah, it looks like it's going to be a pretty good replacement. Looking the way it's going to look. I don't have to worry about trying to fix all that stuff on like I did on the GMC out there. So, yep, pretty good. This right here is a replacement piece for that. You can see it's not quite where it goes, but you get the idea. It goes in there. So it has the flanges and everything, which is what was messed up on the other one. So that'll go in there and something like that. There we go. To replace that piece. And then, of course, the floor pan. So yeah, and most of this from all the way up to here will probably be gone anyways. So, and I'm going to do a little different than I did last time before I use that whole piece. This time I'm going to just use it to the seam right there, and then I'll break it over and then do it like it's supposed to be done in the from the factory. That way it fits a little better, because I had a heck of a time getting that to fit. Now it's missing those, you know, it doesn't have that extra support for the seam right there. For the upper half, there's a couple places that'll need patched, and that's it. Just straight pieces will be easy. So that's what we're gonna do for that side. I'll tell you what. So on the 2 panels on that truck there, these kick panels, I made my own panel. But I tell you what, for 25 bucks, just saving the time to make that is so much better. So if you're already this far into it, where you have to replace the floor pans, the rockers, everything, spend the 25 bucks on that little panel, because look how nice that thing fits in there. And it'll fit, you know, better obviously once the new floor pan's in there too. But yeah, that's a really nice piece. So like most of the pieces are pretty good, but they need some massaging. This one fits right in. I trimmed it down to where it needs to be, and that thing just pops right in where it needs to go. So everything about it is just perfect. So when I build this new piece of this section of flooring, it'll fix all that area. But other than that, that thing is mint. Yes, I said mint. But yep, I like that. That's good. I could burn that in right now and not even have to worry about it. But I need the floor piece first. The one that goes here. It goes the whole way down from the front to the back. So once that's in, we get that figured out. And this is going to be a good reference for that, to put that on too, because I can leave that where it's at and lock it in somewhere. You know, oh, right there, I can lock it in around that area, especially since it's cut out now. And lock it in, and yeah, we're going to be good. She sure is coming along, isn't she? Tell you what, this piece right here, I don't know why I waited so long to get one. I made the last two I had. That piece just fits perfectly. It's like the best stamped one I've ever had as far as the parts go. So, but that's what it's gonna kind of look like once everything's welded in. Everything's just kind of stuck in there right now, but I got that piece coming. I did get the other piece. Got the left side, but I need the right side. So, I need the left side too, but I didn't need it right now. I just forgot to look at the last letter of the part number, which was R instead of L, or L instead of R. So that's where we're at with this one. And yeah, I definitely couldn't be happier with the fitment of that kick panel. That thing just fits in there. Well, like it was made for it, which it was. Look how nicely that fits in there. And just ignore the rest of the crappy floor, because that'll be taken care of. But everything else just lined up nicely. This piece needs to be modified still some more. You see how much further out that is? That's the one from Tabco. All that gapping, that's my fault. Don't blame the company. But being too big out here, it was flat originally. It needed to be bent over. So I could have just bent it over further in, but I didn't know how far I had to go. But I'll redo that. I'll cut it off and recut it, or re-bend it. But kind of see where it's not quite lining up. See how it's further out. But that's all stuff that we got to do when we modify these things or fix these things. Well, as you can see, I've been cutting some more metal out, just getting it ready to put the pan in, or get the pan fitted, I should say. What I was talking about before, you see the seam right there? Well, I'm going to cut that out. I'm going to break this over at that area so that way it has that seam again with that extra support. I didn't do that on that one. I just put the whole piece in there, and I think it's going to work out better that way. And I can make the repair that piece right there, because it's just flat for the most part, except for this area right here. But I can use that portion of it for that too. So it's all good. We'll make it work. Just gonna make it better than what it was, or what it is, or what it could be, or what the parts will allow me to be. So I don't know what the heck I'm saying, but I'm gonna get to work and get this thing cleaned up and get it ready for the pan and all the rest of the parts. All right, so I'm working on the floor pan piece right here. I got it trimmed down pretty good. It likes to pop up right here, but so basically what I did is I scribed a line across where the original seal or the seam's at. I'm going to break that over, and that'll be my the cutoff piece for it. So it'll be great. Then I'll just I'll have to do some filler pieces up here, as far as like some of the rust repair up here. But those are all flat areas, so I'm not too worried about it. Even this area right here is good. That little, what's it called when you have a little thing like that? But anyways, so I got a perfectly straight line that goes the whole way across there to do a brake on. I use my little, my cheap Harbor Freight brake on it. It should work, and get that thing bent, and we should be good. All right, so I'm getting this set up, but the only problem I'm going to run into, see, I rescribed the line on the back side because that's the side I need to work with, is this lump right here is going to prevent me from getting it on here square. So I think I'm going to cut that out because it's not going to be on there anyways. So I'm just going to cut this section out, call it a day, and get ready to bend it. or to break it. All right, so now we got a nice flat area. We should be able to put it in there and make it do its thing, hopefully. Oh no. Use a bend. Problem is that angle. Dang it. My brake won't work for this. I'll be back when I figure something out. All right, so what I did is I got started on the edge here. Hopefully that'll give me enough room to get it up underneath the actual brake. I'm sorry, I got my headphones on, so it's like a little extra loud. So now hopefully, that plate is heavy. So now hopefully I can clamp this down and roll it the rest of the way. I'm going to grab one more clamp for the middle. Hopefully this one's not too big. It's close. All right, let's see if this works. Oh, look at that. How far do I want to go? Is it full 90? I think it is. Could probably do some hammering and dolly on it to make it a little more sharp, but that'll probably work. Except, no, okay. Man, I thought I bent it the wrong way. I'm like, oh man, this is the top, and now it went the wrong way, but no, it needs to go down. That's right, so. You definitely put a sharper edge on that, probably just by hammering it. Ow. Yeah, we'll figure it out. I gotta trim most of it off anyways. All right, so I think that's gonna work out pretty good once I sharpen it up. So it's not like up in where it needs to go, but I think if I sharpen up the corner to get it to nice, real sharp corner, I think it's gonna work out good. Then I'll, be bending or doing a new piece underneath there anyways with the other side of that flange. Should be good to go. UPS just left, and I ordered this yesterday along with the piece that we need for here, but it got delayed somehow with shipping. Not Summit's problem, not AMD's problem, but something with UPS. But they have it, it's just got delayed for some reason. Hopefully it ain't damaged or something. But this is the other thing I ordered to get free shipping. All right, so this is what we got. God dang, that thing's huge. So, did I order the wrong one for that too? I did. Man, I am not on it this week. So yeah, I wanted the cab corner for that side. I got the cab corner for this side. I screwed it up again. Dang it. Keep ordering for the left instead of the right. But hey, what can you do? At least I have it now. Okay, I got that seam not squared, but sharpened up quite a bit. So it'll definitely look better once it's in there. I'm gonna be able to pinch it too once it gets to that point, but I think we quit oil canning. But so yeah, the biggest tip I can give for this is drill a hole in the pan for your body mount bolt and use that to center it, and that'll put it pretty much in the proper position for what you need. So now that that's good there, I can trim it in the areas where I'm not going to cut any more out of the original floor because it's clean everywhere it's at. And like I said, this piece from here over is going to be replaced anyways. So I'm just going to get this piece dialed in to where it can be butt welded. I don't know what happened in the corner there, but definitely screwed something up there. But anyways, so we got that seam done. We'll have to make a filler piece or a new piece for the top portion of it. But yeah, that's going to be a lot better than the way I did it before. All right, there's another little tech tip of that I like to do. So you see how I got everything self-tapered in? Well, that's the overlap. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to take a cutoff wheel and go right on the outside of these heads through both materials, through both levels and layers, whatever you want to call it. That way, when it'll make a perfect butt joint. So it'll be a perfect alignment because you cut them both together and good to go. So you just go in there and weld it and done. So I'm not gonna do it yet because I'm not ready to, I want that piece right there before I go any further. I'm really mad that I ordered the wrong cab corner. God dang. Especially after I spent all that time, straightening this one out. But, it is rusted out at the bottom, but man, I don't know. I don't know what the heck I was thinking. Actually, I know exactly what I was thinking. It was midnight and I realized I ordered the wrong part, so ordered the right part. And I'm like, I need free shipping, so let me order the cab corner for that side. And I said left instead of right. So typical, but midnight ordering. So I cut out the areas of rust in the foot area, the upper area of the floor pan here. And it's actually, I think that's considered the firewall. I made a filler piece too, but I think I need to redo it because I lined up the brace down there with the old panel, this piece, it goes right there, and the floor's sitting up a bit. So I gotta wait till that piece comes in. So once we get that dialed in, then we can work on getting the rest of the pieces made and put together. So, but for now, that's just where it's at. It's gotta wait for that one floor piece. It should have been here today, but is being delayed by UPS. So I'm working on the metal right here, and it dawned on me. And I said earlier that I need to wait till I get this piece here to figure out the angles. But that's supposed to be straight across there, so that's going to be where it needs to be. You just have to kind of work this metal here to bring it down to meet with the brace. But anyways, if you look right here, look how sharp that corner is now. I figured out, stick to the original ways that and it works out the best. So the way I did it to get that sharp corner is just threw in the vise over here, clamped it down, and then hammered and dollied it and just kind of smoothed the piece through until I had the entire piece straight and sharp. So yeah, the brake doesn't do it. It's not enough. It's not strong enough. That's too small to fit anything in it other than 12 inches. So did it the old school way that I've always done it. I don't know why I didn't think of it originally, because I got different tools that I wanted to try out. But sometimes just the original ways work the best. That's what I did. They don't look the best, but I can smoothen that out. I just made it, did it and then stuck it in there. So now I can go in and smoothen it out if I need to, which I will. I hit it up with a DA sander and it'll smoothen all those little wrinkles right out. So, but yeah, that's what I did, and it looks a lot better now. All right, so I went through and I just marked a line around where I'm going to cut. I went through and drilled all the holes for the spot welds so it can attach to the frame or the support underneath there. So I think I'm going to go ahead and cut it out because I think we're good on this piece. I don't think I need to wait for the side piece here to come in. So we can get this done and even tacked in. So I'm pretty happy with the way it is, with the way it came out. And now that I got the sharp corner up here too, so once I get this cut down, it'll drop it down in and bring up that corner and bring those together. It'll be really nice. So I think I'm safe in saying is I'm good to go ahead and cut this piece out because everything else is good. So I'm just gonna go ahead and get to it and do it. All right, we got her all set in there, ready to weld. I have to pick up on a couple of the areas to sort of slide it that way, just a little bit, just some adjustment here and there. I've got some self-tappers to hold it into the brace, so we can go in here and do the spot welds, pull those out, fill that in. I think there's only one thing left to do, and that is burn that thing in, because that is where that's going to be. So I'm going to do all around the edges here. Probably not very far out in this area, because that piece is going to be replacing that. And it's not going to be till tomorrow. I don't know why. Whatever. UPS is stupid. But so I'm going to weld around the inside edges, and I have to bring that corner in a little bit, just to kind of kick it down. And then, yeah, I mean, I can spot weld all the stuff to the frame or to the bracing. And then I can, looks like this bracing is actually sitting where it's supposed to be now. So where we're at. Let's weld her up. That's going to do it for the floor pan. No, actually, I got a couple places I started to weld. Got to pull those screws out and do a butt weld there and finish up that corner over here. But I'm sure the astute amongst you would notice that I did not skip around to, reduce warpage. And there's a reason for that. It's a floorboard. It's already warped. Who am I to change it, But anyways, that's why I don't do it for floor pans. They're going to... You're never going to see it, and it's already pre-warped because these things are shaped so funny. So we got that in there, and just got to go around and grind off the welds and make it look pretty and put some paint on her eventually. All right, so I got that nice and flush now, and it's even welded in on that side. And I bent the flange back down around the way it's supposed to, so pretty much looks stock, especially if I grind those down and make them look smooth. So looking pretty good. I'm liking it. I just got to finish up making the filler piece, but I still got to wait for that piece, the big long piece, to come in. I don't know what's up with you, UPS. It's literally half an hour away. I could go pick it up. I don't know if that's even a thing or not, but it sure would be nice if I could. So that's good on that. I did realize, I thought the cab corners came with this section here, but it only goes to this point, to here. So the cab corner only goes to here. So I got to clean that up. It's not, there's no rusty, nothing's falling apart. So I think it'll clean up pretty nicely. That way that cab corner, that area will stay there, and we'll just replace the cab corner behind it. So yeah, if you're wondering what the inside of the cab corner looks like, there you have it. So the floor is going to replace this piece here all the way back into there. Got a whole new cab corner, so it's going to get replaced. Well, I don't have it yet, but I got to order it because I ordered the wrong one, as we know. And the bracing. So this here, that piece right there is part of the original brace, and that's all getting replaced. So most of this cab corner is going to be brand new, which is cool. But I just want to share, cut it out just to be able to get to it easier. So I guess it wasn't really too bad, but if we're gonna replace it, might as well replace the whole thing. That way it's all new metal. So there we go. Well, I've been digging into the very back part of this now, trying to get this new brace done back here. I think it probably would have been better to spend it, I don't know, I can't remember how much it was, 100 and something, close to $200 for the whole piece. It goes from here all the way across for the bracing. Still got some trimming to do. It's not like even close to being done yet, but just want to try to get it up in there. I had to cut all this stuff out, and this was rusted out here, so I'm gonna, kind of remake that piece anyways. So yeah, good times. Shouldn't be too hard. It's basically just a bend. I might redo this piece too. That's part of the brace. But yeah, getting closer, but this is in there too tight right now, so there's gonna be some more trimming on the piece to do. I don't want to go any further than that because the rest of the metal's good. So probably do some more floor patches back here once I get that whole side piece here Then I can concentrate on patching and filling stuff. But we'll make it look like it did, close to what it did from the factory, or we'll cover it with carpet, one of the two. All right, so I got that filler piece done. Might need some trimming here and there, but like the top right here, I haven't dialed that in yet because I'm waiting for that main floor piece to come. It's coming today. It's out for delivery. Finally, today's Friday. It should have been here Wednesday, but I don't know what's going on with that. But anyways, so that'll fill up good and nice in there. I ended up going a little higher than I wanted to, but I can just, once I get to weld it around the edge here, I can use a hammer and bring that shape in because there's very little, just a little tiny bit of a dip there. So we'll fix that when the time comes. A little bit of trimming to do around in some areas. I think I just need to move that out a little bit. I got lucky here. This has the exact amount of extra flange over here to be able to roll up over the new kick panel piece. So it's perfect. I can't do that or that until we get that big piece in there yet though. So that's what we're waiting on. Once that gets here, it's saying between 3 and 5. God, I hate UPS out in the country, but at least it's coming today, and I know it is. So, but we're getting real close to getting this part done, and then once we get the floor panel in, we can get the rocker panel in, we can finish up the back. Still got to work a cab corner, but that's no big deal. That can come anytime. Then we can start on the other side. But it's just going to be a lot of the same for that side, just mirror imaged. But yeah, I just want to share that. Oh, I did have to remake that because originally when I made it and I rolled that edge over, it was too small. I didn't leave enough material, so luckily I got enough material to make another one, and it came out pretty much exactly the way it needs to, with the flange that goes down and over. I'll have to trim it up because it's only supposed to be like, you know, 1/8 of an inch rolled over, but see how it came out pretty even there. So I'll drill some holes in it so we can spot weld that as well to the floor panel. And yeah, we'll be good to go. Getting a lot closer. Well, since I'm still waiting on that part over there, I figured I'd start on this side. So as you can see, this side was actually a little worse in some areas. Like this piece right here was completely wasted right there. Big hole. And which, you know, doesn't matter because I got a replacement for it, which I still need to modify because see, this one I've done already. See how it's flat right there? I gotta do the same thing for this. It's flat right here. Gotta do the same for this. I already flattened out this area here like I did here. And I gotta, you know, add some nuts to it as well. But yeah, and you can see, I didn't trim the top of this. So it's that much bigger too, but gotta do some trimming on it as well. But so yeah, these panels fit real nice and look real good. I gotta do some work up here to bend that down more of a 90 and do some massaging here too, because that's kind of, I don't like how rough that is. It should be nice and smooth. So we'll hammer and dolly that a little bit. Got that panel over there ready to go, but I'm waiting for the floor pan, or this piece, not the floor pan. The floor pan's in over there. So I still got to order a floor pan, a kick panel, and a cab corner for that side. So, but yeah, I'm getting done what I can with what I have. I got to wait till next payday to order the other panels. So it's one of those things, you know, got to do it on a budget. I'm only allotted so much per month for projects, but we'll get her done. Be that much closer. Once this is done, this can go on there permanently. So that'll be great. So when I was doing this, I discovered that even with the mark, yeah, I don't know what I did, but I marked it wrong, and now there's a big gap, but that's about where it's supposed to be. I measured the distance, and it's supposed to be 65.5 from here to over there, and that's where it's at. So I'm going to have to fill this gap with something for the new piece. But I also don't have the new brace back here yet either. And I have the one up here. I'm not worried about this because that's floor pan's getting replaced. But so yeah, I gotta make sure I, you know, really look at it, because I don't know why I thought that would be a good mark for it originally, but You see how the holes on you lining up for the seat belt, but I don't know. I'll figure it all out and get it on there, but I want to finish that side first because I got the floor piece for that, so we got to do basically this over there, and yeah, so that's where we're at on that. So I'm taking my time on this side a little bit because I don't want to gap it again like I did over there, but so I'm, you know, sneaking up on the cut, but like I said, the distance from here to that corner is where it's supposed to be right now, even though it is flexible, but the measurement measures the same as the other cabs, so I'm good with that. So what I'm doing is I'm working on the front mount here to get it dialed in. Got to drill some holes in it, and I can bolt it to this. And that'll give me that front section. And then I just got to work back here and just kind of bolt it into here, and will give me that section. So, but got other parts need to go on, but yeah, a lot of cutting, measuring, you know, fitting, and yeah, all that good stuff. Well, I got this piece trimmed down and almost ready to be burned in. I think we're good. The bracing underneath here isn't like welded in or nothing yet. I'm gonna do that last, but I'm using it to line stuff. This already had the holes in the front, this piece here, but I had to add holes to the back. But I'm just lining it up with the floor with the humps there are here. And the front up here turned out real nice. The humps lined up. It's a little off back here, but this is I gotta replace this piece anyway, so ain't no big deal. So I'm not worried about the gap back there either. So that's where we're at with that. But yeah, I think we're looking pretty good. So I could probably go ahead and burn the front of this piece in. Gotta do some hammer and dolly on the front, because I kept the piece from the floor pan, this piece that I bent over and made that seam for. I'm just gonna add this in because you need this little bit right here. See a little dent? That's what fits this into it. So, and I kind of lined everything up off of that piece because it fit in so good. So that's what I'm kind of going off of, is that as far as depth and whatnot. And that piece right there from Tabco, yeah, no, I gotta modify the crap out of it to make it work. But we'll figure it out. I made that last time. I made that on the other 70. I actually made one of those. So I don't know. We'll see if AMD has that piece. I can compare it to it. But yeah, as of right now, all the AMD stuff is working great. I just it's that one piece I got from Tabco that I'm not too impressed with. Well, I think it's as good as it's gonna get. I don't have the bracing welded in yet, but that's still gonna be fitted back there, but I wanna get the floor pan piece in first, get that over with. I put the rocker on there, everything lines up the way it should. So, and the measurement from here to here is 38, exactly what it's supposed to be. 38 and a little tiny bit, maybe a 16th. But that's what the same thing that every other truck I've measured it has been. So I think we're good to go ahead and make that floor permanent. And it won't be permanent out here yet, just into the floor pan. That's still just gonna be bolted in there, but yeah, it's just keeping it in place so I can get her welded. Well, there's just no going back now. It is welded in fully now. Actually went in pretty good. I should have cleaned the underside of this area, but I know I cleaned up all the weld areas on this, but it wasn't too bad. I'm sure there'll be a few places where I missed, but it seemed to be burning in real nice, so good to go on that. Now just all the rest of the pieces. I think I'm gonna order the AMD version of this just to compare it. It's only like 14 bucks. So that way I can say definitively whether or not it's just this one or if they're all gonna be like that. So I don't know. But yeah, I don't know, that really like threw me off with that being so bad. But anyways, got that side done. Haven't even started that side. I just want to get this side all done except for the cab corner. And then we'll move over there. So I went ahead and threw the patch panel in there too. Got her all welded up. Haven't done the ends yet. I'm going to trim that up as I go when I need it. It actually is pretty good for, oh, that's right, I threw it through the center, yeah. So That lip right there goes flat against that, and it's I have to trim a little bit off of it, but that'll get welded together. So it's all gonna be good. Yeah. Still a lot to do. Let's throw the rocker on there just to see how it looks. There you go. Comes up nicely. Pretty cool. Yep, it's coming together. Oh, heck. Let's just stick this up in here too while we're at it. There you have it. Have any more vice grips? There we go. You can see how that has the lip right there that it needs. I have to add a little bit in here to this piece of floor pan. Oops. Because that's right, I cut that out to make that piece, but I haven't done it yet. It's okay because nothing else is welded in. I was gonna do it after I got everything else welded in, so looking good. As good as I can do it. Truth be told, it is cold. It's pretty nice this afternoon. It was freezing this morning. It was 29 degrees this morning, and it was 32 in here. And I was out here working. And then got to enjoy the afternoon a little bit, some warmth there, but it's dropping back down again. We're down to 40 in here again, so I think it's about time to call it a night and go get some hot food. We'll be back at it again tomorrow, as always. All right, well, it's an extremely cold morning here this morning. It's like 30 degrees. But last time I didn't put my doors on to see if the rocker panel fit and everything. So we're gonna put the door on right now to make sure that the rocker panel lines up the way it's supposed to. I know I don't have this piece up here yet, but it's where it needs to be. It's all locked into the floor. I just have it tech screwed in right now, or self-tappered in right now. But it's in there pretty good. And back here, you can't really go wrong with it because that's exactly where it can go. So we're gonna get the door on there and see what happens, basically. But yeah, it's cold. Tell you what, if you want to help your assembly process, remove the glass out of your doors. It makes them a little lighter. So we get these started in here. It's hitting over in this corner right here. This door's dinged up here too, so the front looks pretty good, but it's definitely not where it needs to be yet. If I open it the way it is right now, it's going to hang, obviously. I'll check the door gaps, look good. So the door seems to be right where it needs to be. Did it stay or drop down? Definitely drop down. Not bad, not perfect. Needs to go back a little bit more. Gap back here's a little big, although it looks pretty good in the windshield area. Guess I could come back a little bit. Looks decent up here, so I think maybe this is like, this needs to be pulled that way. But hey, ain't bad. And I don't have a whole lot of support right here either because that piece is missing, but man, it's hard to talk when it's cold. You ever notice that? It appears that we're rubbing right here. So maybe that needs to go down a little bit. Yeah, it does. It doesn't line up with the floor, so I have to push that down a little bit. I think that's actually where it's hitting. Is that the only place where it's hitting? Oh yeah. So that is easy to change. Let's remove these screws. I hate about self-tappers, they stick. So I think if we move it down just a hair, lock it into the bottom. All right, so I think we have to clearance the floor a little bit right here. In that area, I don't know if you can see or not, but this corner right here needs to go down a little bit. So we can bring this down. That way it clears here, but the front looks pretty good. I just think this area right here, the corner, isn't allowed to go down far enough to clear the door. Yep, so. All right, well, we know that's the only place that's an issue. We get that down to where it comes flush. There's a lip underneath here. If we can get that go flush with the inner panel, it'll clear everything. So I think we'll be good. So that's what we're gonna do. But after I go inside and warm up a little bit. I figured I'd share with you what I'm gonna do for these spot weld holes. So you have the good old Chief spot weld and flange tool. And what I did is stuck it on here at the highest possible point. And then I measured 1 inch down from the edge of the tool itself. So that area right there, and just that way I can move it to that spot, to the edge. It's kind of hard to do with one hand on the camera, but do the next one. And next one. Next one. Next one. And no. So now you have them all perfectly split. I guess the top one's a little bit off, but that's fine. I could always add another one right there if I want to. But yeah, perfectly spaced 1 inch apart just by measuring off the edge of that tool. So I measured off the edge of this. So yeah, there you go. Places a spot weld. All right, so I got that little corner filled right there now. So that's all good to go. That fits this piece perfectly now. So I think it's about time I'm gonna weld that kick panel in, because it's looking really good. It fits really nicely. So that's going in next. And I really got to work this piece right here. Where's it at? Wherever I put it. I got to try to get this piece to work. So I don't know yet. A lot of modification you got to do to make it work, but everything else is set where it's supposed to be. And that's just throwing it off for whatever reason. And my light's about to die. But anyways, got that done so I can burn that piece in now. You know how I said it was freezing this morning, like 16 degrees, and it was, you know, like 30 in here? Well, it's just after 1. We're already at 70 degrees. Freaking Oklahoma weather, man. I just don't get it. It can't make up its mind. But we're getting work done, which is good. This metal's gonna be done pretty soon, I think. Well, except for the pieces I gotta wait on. But you know what I mean. We got a lot going, a lot done. Well, we got everything welded in on this side now, at least up till this point. So, like I said, I still gotta figure out what I'm doing with this piece. But all the plug welds are done, all the stitch welds done. All those pieces are together now. And we got, you know, new kick panel, all new floor, so everything is sealed up. Just gotta clean up the welds and put some paint on it just to protect it. But gotta figure out that whole situation first. I just don't know about that thing. But yeah, I don't know. Everything down there is lined up now. I still got to do the braces. Once the braces are done, we can go and move on to the rocker down here. But yeah, I'm looking pretty good, pretty happy. Well, I just want to share the crazy amount of metal that's been cut off of this truck already. It's quite a bit, and there's still more in other places around the shop where I'm keeping pieces to be able to compare it to the new parts and stuff like that. But yeah, it's a lot of crap, a lot of scrap. But I just wanted to show y'all before I put it in my scrap trailer. All right, so I got the front brace ready to, prepared to go in. Went through and put a bunch of holes in it for spot welds, so it can be welded from the bottom up and into the floor and the outside piece and the frame. So should be good to go on that. Get that thing put in. All right, well, I got the brace in now, so everything up here is good. The only thing I got to work on is this right here, that piece. So I think I might have jumped the gun a little bit on it, because when it's up in position right there where I originally cut it out to be, it fits pretty nicely. All right. Problem is the holes don't line up that I drilled into it, because, well, I wish this piece would have came with the holes already in it, because that could have matched this piece here, you know, because this came with the holes in it, which is what I'm basing everything off of. So that would have been nice to have the holes already drilled in here. So I got to modify, I got to pull the nuts off of that, cut the nuts off, then I put on there, and then elongate these holes a little bit to go down. But overall, it does fit pretty good where I originally cut it to be. So I think we'll be all right. It's got to do a little bit of, you know, here and there massaging and whatnot. But like, this should have been flatter here, but you know, what do you expect from the aftermarket these days? It's just the way it's going to be, especially with, like I said, you know, people using the old molds from the 60s. They're not going to be right. So, but everything else is good underneath there. Just got to get that one fixed and making it work. Started playing around with it fitting the rocker, because that's what it's got to fit over. And it didn't fit at all. But what I did was squeeze it. Basically squeeze this end in here, right, like kind of on this end to this end, brought it together, and it fits really nicely in there now. I mean, it's going to take a little bit of play, but see how the edges are all lining up now? And the only reason they're not lining up that good there is because the corners aren't sharp. But I think we're good on that. And I was like looking at it. If you look at it, you can kind of see it goes at an angle. I'm like, well, how am I going to fix that? Well, I'm not going to, because if you look at the original part, guess what? It has that angle in it. So we're good to go on that. We just got to still relocate the holes. But other than that, that thing should go in now with some, you know, filler for the weld, because I cut it too small. But that was the main thing I was worried about, is not fitting over the rocker, because the rocker I know is good. I've used these before and they always fit perfect. So yeah, so I wanted to make sure it fit that. If that fit that, we should be good to go. Well, it looks like it's going to work. I just got to do some filler work for the metal, but the front looks really good. It lines up pretty nicely. Got to push this in a little bit, which will bring the door in where it's supposed to be too. So, yep. I think we'll be good. Oh boy. The rocker seems to fit nicely. It's tight, but it fits. I have to do some more massaging up here. All right, so I got that little cab piece tacked in. I just want to make sure it test fit it and make sure everything works. So if you look at the gap for the rocker, it's really good up front here. Kind of gets narrower back here, so I think this still needs to go down a little bit. But I mean, look at how nicely it closes. The gap is where it's supposed to be. It needs to kind of go in a little bit more, but I think it might be because of this, that area there. And yes, it's very cold this morning. It's 29 with a feels like 11 or 18 or I don't know, something. But it's I don't know what it is in the shop, but at least I'm out of the wind. The wind is what's causing it. It is 30, 6 degrees out here. But yeah, another cold morning. And it ain't gonna warm up today. It's supposed to be 36 as a high, I think. So, but yeah, that's actually the gap on all the rest of the trucks I've seen. They're about 3/8 of an inch there. I think it still could go back a little bit, but I don't know. The gap up here looks really nice. The gap up here looks really good. So I don't know. I think we're gonna be, that's about where we're gonna be. So I just gotta like see about dropping that side of the rocker down. We should be good. Well, I had to get a kind of an idea of what the fender would look like, and it lines up really nicely down there. It's not set, it's kind of rubbing the door when you open it, but it's not bolted in down here either. So, but I think that gap's gonna be pretty good there. We looking good there, and even the rocker down there. Like I said, it's not bolted in down there, so that'll come up around. So yeah, I think we're doing all right. So I think we're good to, once we adjust the back of the rocker, I think we'll be good to burn that in as well. So we're gonna finish welding all around that that one support piece, and then we'll get to the rocker. All right, we got that brace welded in now. I welded the nuts to the plate too, the way it was from the factory, kind of like that. So let's cut the nuts on the back side so it could be bolted. So yeah, so that part's done, all welded in. I gotta just clean it up. I did some major gap welding on that. I was gonna try to fill it with something, but I'm like, you know, I'm just gonna weld it. So I did, that's what I did. And so yeah, that part is done. So I gotta drill some holes for spot welds through here, down at the bottom here. So in this area here, so I can go up from the bottom to weld to the rocker. And then same thing with the bottom there, weld into the, kind of weld into the rocker from the backside. But other than that, so after that, we'll have to do the brace in the rear, and then do some filler pieces for the floor. But yeah, this side's getting closer, that's for sure. And all the gaps will be filled with seam sealer anyways, but pretty much we don't have a whole lot of gaps. Just gotta grind down the welds and make them look pretty, even though it'll probably be covered up with carpet or something. But that's where we're at with that. Pretty good. Well, we're at that point where, you know, I hate saying it, but it is what it is, because that is in permanently now. So we got the rocker in, got the floor pan in, got all the pieces up here in. The only thing I'm waiting on is the cab corner, and I got to put this brace in still back here, but I got to fix some of that flooring too. But cutting the flooring out to put the brace in is kind of almost necessary. So it's one of those things we had to do. But we got to clean up the welds, then let's take the door back on, make sure everything still fits. So, yep, that's it. This side is pretty much done. Well, there's still plenty of adjustment on the door, but we got her on there, and it needs to go up a little bit. But other than that, everything lines up pretty nicely. Yeah, the gap is a little bit thick up here, or wide. So I think we're good on this side. Like I said, just gotta wait on cab corner and get that brace in there too. But I'm pretty happy with the way it's turned out so far. Get the new rocker, everything's welded in. Door shuts. Not too bad. That's gonna do it for this video. I'm waiting on parts to finish up the cab corners and the floor pan and the kick panel on the driver's side. But there's no reason to film all that. It's gonna be the same exact thing as I did on the passenger side. So you get to see that, the rocker panel, that floor piece, the floorboard, and the kick panel come in. And even that one piece I thought was bad wasn't so bad. It wasn't great, but it worked. I made it work. So that's kind of what you gotta do with these pieces, you know, from all these different companies. They're not new molds. They never will be. It's never gonna be perfect. So you gotta make them work. But anyway, if you like this video, leave a like down there. Leave me a comment. Let me know what I can do, what I can do better. And subscribe while you're at it, because we are going to make this show in April. And right now it's January. So we got a couple months to go, but we got a lot of work to do between that, and brakes, and wiring, and all the good stuff. So make sure you tune in, turn on those notifications. And hey, this was a long video. So if you are here to the end, just take a comment down in there, make a comment that says K3500. That way I know you made it to the end. You know where we're at with this build. So until next time, I will see y'all later.